Hello and welcome to another live stream in which we're going to play around with CSS. I had a live stream in last week or 2 weeks ago when we went over the basics of CSS. And in this live stream I want to continue that, or we could just play around and build some components, or I don't know, some small projects in CSS just for you to see how beautiful is CSS and how we can play with it. Hello for everyone who joined the live stream. Say hi in the chat. Let's see who's with us. Hello Priyank, Poop, hi, how are you? Exo, Kristen, Mohammed, Toby, Sai, Yash, Manzoor, how are you today? We have Ishan, and we also have Nugan, and Guen, Dan, I guess Dan, it's fine. Front end dude here, nice. Hey Marco, how are you? All right, not EA. So yeah, I want first to thank all the members of the channel for supporting the channel. So thank you Marco, Dennis, Ivan, Ishan, Jeffrey, Rahul, and Jonathan for being a member of the channel. And you receive special perks if you become a member. So yeah, not only you support the channel, but you also receive special perks, which are now not a lot, but I'm still working. If you have any ideas of what you would like to receive by supporting the channel, just let me know. Yeah, we could also add some emojis here. Well, guess in the future. All right, let's see. How should I start? I guess if I close this somewhere. Hey, Cosmin, Rodrigo, Prabhakaran, how are you all? Hello, Priyank. Thank you very much for the donation. Let's get the party going. Thank you very much. For those of you who don't know, if you donate, you will get your name inside the donation jar, which is almost full. Yeah, and the donation will be used to improve the stream. I want to buy a webcam. I guess the biggest investment will be a new streaming PC. So yeah, because this one keeps crashing, and no, it's not the best. All right, we also have our orange juice, which is good. All right, CSS course. I guess this was the link. Yeah, there are a few things. There are a lot of things I could buy to improve the stream. There's a green screen I could put behind, so you don't see my, I don't know, whatever. There is some lights to see me better. There is the streaming deck, which is nice for tools. Well, a lot of things. Nevertheless, let me write Priyank down and add him in the donation jar. So Priyank Patel. All right. Okay, and today is 28 April 2020. Okay, here it is. Thank you for the donation, and you get inside the donation jar. But you already know, because you are the second biggest donator, I think. I need to check the stats, but I think you are. Yeah, Dennis being the first, you are the second. Live every day. Yes, I want to go live every day. I'm doing one mentoring session every day and one live stream every day. I also should work on the Tailwind course, but I didn't get to work today. All right. Good. So this is what we had. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is big enough. This is what we covered in the last stream: box model, specificity, important, positioning, before, after, and z-index. In this stream, let's cover these, and yeah, that feels right. I guess we can cover all of these except grid and flexbox. Grid and flexbox, I have a special. I won't cover them in this series. They're a bit too large and a lot of things to cover, so yeah. But rather, if you want to learn them, I have another live stream done for the Free Code Camp series, where it's just about flexbox and grid. Hello, Mihretu. T-Shell. Interesting. 50 people. Whoa, nice. Where have you been? All right. And also, in today's live stream, I want us to build something with CSS. So not only theory, I want to play around and build, I don't know, something. We'll see. I have something from Priyank, a design. I'm not sure where it is. I need to find it. Maybe we can play around and build that. Hello, Paul from New York City. I'm fine. How are you? All right, let me open this with live server. It will come here. Let me put it. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Apparently, we did something fancy here. I guess we did a full page background with an overlay. Nice. So let's delete it. And okay, we don't need this. So let's see. Box shadow. Let's talk about, and let's see how the box shadow works. For those, I guess most of you are familiar with, but if you're not, let's create a box, a div with an ID of box. And here, let me know, can you see, can you hear, can you everything? I'm using Brave. I got used to it. I don't know. I don't have a special reason. They say it's faster because it doesn't run ads, but then at the same time it doesn't run ads. That means I don't earn anything as a content creator, but yeah. Okay, so the box. I want it to be a width 300 pixels, a height 300 pixels, a background color of purple. Not purple, purple. Like that. And look at that, we have the box. And let's center it on the body, display flex, align item center, justify content center, and min height 100 viewport heights, and boom. And maybe even margin 0. Okay. I guess it seems that this is not required because it's margin all over the place. So, but if the height will be bigger, then it will count. All right, so there we go. We have the box. Actually, let me make the box just white. And now let's play with the box shadow. So the box shadow has, I think, 4 or 5 properties. Let me actually check. So box shadow. Yeah, I have the Gatsby t-shirt, which I received because I did something for the code base. I don't know what. I forgot. Just some property, they were misplaced. I fixed that and they sent me a shirt. Pretty nice. If you don't have clothes, you should just push to their code base and they'll give you t-shirts. All right. Okay, so let's see. Browser support, blah, 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 blah. Good. So we have the H offset. So on the x-axis, we have the V offset, I guess, which is, I don't know, on the y-axis. Thank you, Big Don. We have the blur, the spread, and the color. Okay, so let's work with the... Well, let's set all of them. So we want, let's see, 5 pixels to the right, 5 pixels down, and let's give it a color of black. Let's see what we have. Look at that, it's like a border. Because we don't have spread and we don't have blur. If we add blur, like 5 pixels, then it starts to look like a shadow. And what I usually do to make it look even better for a shadow, I convert this to an RGBA, and I say something like black, so 000, but for the alpha I give something like 0.2, so the opacity is 0.2. RGBA, oh, okay, yeah, so now you see it kind of pushes it up from the, if you think that the website is the ground, then it just pops it up a bit, I guess. If you say 0, then yeah, it's kind of like forwards a bit. Good night, Big Dan. Okay, so yeah, and now if you want the fourth property, which is the spread, I never really know which is the blur, which is the spread. So this is the spread, basically. Well, as the name says, it spreads, so it will increase the sizing of it, I guess, with 5 pixels. Yeah, I usually don't use this, so I do something like this just to have a shadow. Maybe we can do it on a button. Yeah, well, actually no, it's fine. I guess it's, yeah, neomorphism. Yeah, that's with 2 box shadows. So basically you can have multiple box shadows, just put a comma, and then you write here, let's say -5 pixels, -5 pixels, so it goes up and okay, that way. Up and left. It's hard for me to think I'm pointing to the right, but then I say left because that's what you see. And just do this the same. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, look at that, pretty nice. I guess what how they do neomorphism. Let's make this EEE, and this will be something like a white. Okay, and then the body, I don't know, something darkish. No, I don't know, I'm not an expert in neomorphism, but let's play around. Like that? No. Something 888? Yeah, nah, never mind. Yeah, so as Marco says, you have the link here. CSS Matic, and here you can just see how the box shadow looks. Oops. See, I just play with this. Whoops, and then whoops, and then whoops. If you can't tell, I'm in a good mood today. Probably you can tell. Hey Paul, how are you? Okay, so yeah, that's it with box shadow. It's not, I don't know, rocket science. Just play with it. I usually, what I do if I want some fancy box shadow, I say materialize box shadow, and I have this, the second link on CodePen, and they have a couple of nice box shadows for different elevations. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, okie dokie, let's move on. Yeah, Ishan created a box shadow generator. Cool. Okay, so yeah, that's done with box shadow. Let's see calc. Okay, so for calc or whatever, basically you can do calculation in CSS using this function. So for example, let's say you want your box to be always 100% width, so all across the width, but you want some space on the left and on the right. Well, I guess it's not the best example, but let's show you how to do that. So you do calc 100% minus 40 pixels. So then, well, you need spacing around this, like this. So now you can see that it has, well, basically 20 pixels on the left and 20 pixels on the right. And it will always have 20 pixels on the left and on the right. Well, you can, in this case, you can get the same approach by using width 100% and margin 20 pixels. But there are some ways when you really need to use calc to calculate. You can do it with margin. I don't have an example in mind now. Or you can also use not 40 pixels, you can use 10 VH. See, so it does calculations between different, what are these called? So percentage and VH, different units, yeah, which is pretty cool. There are some formulas, I guess, well, formulas, doesn't feel right. I saw something fancy where the font size of an H1 was based on the width of the viewport. Now I don't know where I've read that, but it was using calc, some kind of nice formula there. But yeah, this is basically what calc does. Let me know. Have you used calc before? Haven't you? Let's see who used it and what's the why have you used it. Okay, maybe we could find it here. So let's see what kind of no CSS calc. You could also do use it when you want 3 columns, and you can say calc 100% divided by 3, and then you don't have to worry about because if you say 33%, then you leave off 1%. So doing 100% divided by 3, you get exactly 3 parts. Yeah, so you can see here different multiplications and all sorts of. You can use variables inside. Just note that you always have to have spacing between the values, the operand, well, between the values and the operand, just one space. Otherwise it won't work. Maybe they fixed it, but I know it didn't work for a while. Let's see, calc 100% minus 40 pixels. Yeah, you see, so it doesn't work, which is pretty weird, but well, you have to have spaces around. And now it works. So yeah, Joseph says that he uses Flexbox. He uses calc for Flexbox gutters and margins. Nice. Did I ever use CMS? Not really for my own projects. I used WordPress for some client projects. Okay, good. Responsive design. Now, responsive design basically when you want something to be different on different viewports. And I guess the best example will be if we create 2 boxes. Let's make the boxes 300 pixels again. Okay, and add a bit of margin between them. Alright, so we have 2 boxes. And what if we want on mobile? You can see that they squeeze on when we get to the mobile size. What if we want them to go on the second row, where you just say media and say max width, and for example, so max width, you can say here min width or max width. This is the desktop first version or approach, where you write your CSS for the desktop and then you write separate media queries for the mobile. a lot of people like to use mobile first. When you write your CSS for mobile, and then in the media queries you use min width instead of max width. I got used to this approach because I did a lot of design to CSS, and usually the designers send you the desktop design. And I did the conversion to desktop, and then I just zoomed in, or I don't know, resized the browser on the mobile view, and I just checked to see what's looking odd, I should say. Okay, so let's see. If the max width is 600 pixels, we want the box. Well, actually, on the body, by default, we have now display flags. And the flags direction by default is row for the display flags. So now, in order for them to be on top of each other on mobile, we can just say flags direction column. And now when we get to the 600 viewport, look at that. Nice. It will still squeeze a bit because we have the margin, so we need to account for that. So we have margin to 20 pixels with width 300 pixels, so that's a total space required for a box for 340 pixels. So double that, it's 680. So now they shouldn't squeeze anymore, I guess. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so this is just a the high overview of responsiveness. All right, let's see. Okay. Yeah, so Priyanka asks, yeah, you don't say 100 pixels plus 10 pixels in the calc function. You say something like 100% plus 10 pixels. So you're using different units. Otherwise, yeah, it's obvious. Why don't you just write 110? Oh, 660, because the margin overlap. That's actually a good, that's actually right, yeah. So here we don't have 40 pixels, we just have 20 pixels because they overlap. Thank you, yeah, that's actually right. So now it should be, yeah, but it's still, wait a bit. Isn't the margin overlapping only on the y-axis? Yeah, I think it is, because look at this. We have here more space, so it's double inside. So this looks right, it's not squeezed. I guess the margin collapsing is only top and bottom. Yeah. All right, good. So we covered this quickly. Transition and transform and animations. Now this is a lot of fun. Let me think of a way to to showcase this. Let's remove a box. Do you guys have any idea how I could showcase? I don't need this anymore. Well, yeah. Let's learn transform. So basically the transform property just it has a couple, how do you call, so the transform property has a couple of properties. So you have translate, you have scale, you have skew, you have rotate. Guess these are the four. Let's see, transform CSS, and they're pretty much what they say to be. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, metrics. Okay, I never used that. So translate, scale, rotate, skew, and perspective. That's not on trans, I guess. All right. So let's start with scale. We can specify transform scale, and this requires a number. 1 is by default, so nothing happens. But if we say 2, then it will be 4 times bigger, because it scales. So it scales by a factor of 2. If we say 1.2, I'm not sure what's the math behind it. But yeah, 2 is not double, because you can see basically it's 1, 2, 3, 4 times bigger. I guess 1.5 is double? Not sure, because it's the area, right? So I don't know exactly which scale property is double, but I know that 2 is 4 times bigger. Yeah, that I learned from Daniel Schiffman. And you can also say 0.5 or something, or 0.1, and make them bigger and smaller. Now this is with scale. You can also have transform translate, which will translate like it will, yeah, so it doubles on every axis, so it quadruples the area. Thank you, Carlos. So the translate, it will basically move it. You can have translate X or translate Y, but if you only have translate, it's both. So the first one it's X and the second one it's Y. Let's say we don't want on the Y axis, so the Y axis is top bottom, the X axis is left right. If you say 100 pixels translate on the X, then it will go to the right 100 pixels. If you say minus 100 pixels, then it will go to the left. Sorry, my webcam is the other way. So this is left and this is right. Okay. If we say 0 here and then 100 pixels on the y-axis, it will go down. Okay, let me, yeah. So 100 pixels, it will go down. And now the nice thing with transform is that, let me see how I can showcase this to you. So if we have another box like this, and I do the transform on the first one. So let's see, box 1. And I add a class of box 1 here. So now we have 2 boxes, and one has the box 1. Did the stream stopped? Seems to be working for me. Let me know if the stream stopped. Can you refresh? Oh, okay. Yeah, so Joseph, you went one step further. I'll get to that. Okay. So yeah, Joseph says that you should only animate or transition some properties, but yeah, we'll get to that part. All right, so what we have here is one box goes down, the first box goes down, but I want to show you, let's make this, come on, Emmet, what are you doing? Let's make this purple and let's move it 100 pixels to the right. And let's see what happens. It will it will go on top of the other box. Hey Dennis, welcome. So basically the transfer property, it will take the original spot and you will move it from the original spot, but it won't affect the flow of the document. Yeah, it will overlap. Thank you. The space which is taken up from the flow of the document is still there in the original space. So we could do something like 1000 pixels, and you can see that the second box is still there on the right. Why? Because the original, the box 1, you can think of it like, I don't know, the shadow or something of the box, it's still here. So in the flow of the document, it's still taking up this space. You can get rid of this by saying position absolute, and now it will be taken out of the flow of the document. We talked about this in the previous stream. But yeah, I just wanted to showcase how the translate works. So it will move it from the original spot, but without affecting the elements around it. Whew, okay. I need to breathe. Cheers. Okay. Yeah, so we have translate. If you only want, for example, to work on the x-axis, you just say translate x and put 100 here, and it's fine. Now, another thing. If you want to work with percentages, keep in mind that 100%, it will mean the percentages here will be relative to the width of the children when the percentage is inside the translate. If you say position relative and left 100%, this percentage will be based on the parent of the box. Does it make sense? Let me open this. So keep in mind that this 100% will be the width, so 300 pixels. It will go 300 pixels to the right. Okay, that's that. Dennis, I'm not sure. Yeah, look at that. It appeared. Do I have? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you don't want Priyank to catch up, right? When are we going to do a video together? That will be fun. You should do something with Python on the back end, and I should do the front end with React or something. Hey Mihai! Thank you very much, Dennis, for the donation. Again, I don't know how many times I thanked you already. I guess a lot of times. So let me write your name and put you inside the donation jar. Again. Yeah. It didn't show up in the stream yet. Well, yeah, now it did. You're just teasing. Yeah. Dennis Ivy, the biggest, baddest donator. Hail Matthias, salute from Yash. Hello. Bine ai venit. Would be interesting to see REST API from Dennis and frontend from Florin. Yeah, that will be pretty nice. Yeah, we could do that. All right, here is Dennis again. And you go inside the donation jar, which is almost full. I guess I should just clear the donation jar. Hey Ivan! Nice to see you around. So yeah, there you go. Almost at the top. I guess we have space for, I don't know. I guess if I squeeze, there are more space, but yeah. So Dennis, I never did a collab. I'm not sure if my Mac will support that, but if it would, then yeah, I would love to do that. Here I'm going to complete all the navbar from your nav pool. I forgot about that. Good question. So where city I am? Well, in Tirgumoresh, close to Tirgumoresh. How old I am? I'm old. 100 over 100. Okay, let me remove the box shadow. The left here. Okay, and keep going with the transform. So another property on the transform is rotate. So transform, rotate. 45. Oh, it don't have to be live. Yeah, I guess that could work too. So here in the rotate, you need to say in degrees. So how many degrees? 45, it will do something like this, or 90, it will do this. But now, basically, because it's a square, it's just a square. You don't see that it's rotated. Now, another thing is that for the transform property, you can say translate x, like, I don't know, 100 pixels, and then rotate, and then scale 1.2. So you can have all the three functions here. Let me remove that. Now, the trick with this is that, well, actually, let me get rid of the scale. And you can see that if we put rotate first and then transform, you see it's different. Why is that? So if we have transform first and rotate, then it's there. If we have rotate first and then transform, is there. Well, that's because it will, well, first it will rotate and then it will translate on the x-axis, which is now like this. So it will push, it will rotate, I guess, like this, and then it will push like this. Otherwise, if you translate first, so it's like this, first you translate and then you rotate. So it will stay basically on the same axis. Keep this in mind because sometimes you might need to do both, and then you will just ask yourself, why is not working properly? So maybe it's because of the way you are doing the order, I guess. Okay, and one last thing, we have skew. I never really used it. I don't know how to write it. Okay, and this takes up pixels, I think. Let's see, I forgot. Yeah, no, degrees. So if we skew x 10 degrees, it will go like this. I don't know. And if you do minus 10 degrees, it will go like that. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's skewing some, weird, it's weird. Let's see on the y-axis, what does it do? Yeah, like that. As I said, I never really had to do it, but yeah, I guess it's a possibility. It looks like you could do some kind of a box thingy, 3D box with skew. I don't know. Try putting some content in the skewed. Okay, let's see. Marco is the purple guy. Yeah, look at that. So it also skews the text. Ivan, yeah, you're funny. How long until this becomes a car game? Soon. Last time when we did CSS shapes, we ended up creating a car game and having bets and a racing game, actually. Okay, so that's it with transform. I guess we did, yeah, we did all of them. Now let's look into transition, which is the fun part, a transition animation. So basically animation. So what happens, let's say we want the box one. I'm not going to remove the white box. Interesting. A donation didn't appear on the chat. Thank you very much, Arpan. Not sure why it didn't appear on the chat. Oh, I think I know. Have you used the Streamlabs link? That's nice. Thank you very much for the donation. Yeah, that's something I have in the description. If you want to donate and you don't want YouTube to take 30%, then you can donate via Streamlabs, and I get most of it. Yeah, thank you very much, Arpan. Let me write your name. 28 April 2020. Here we go. Yeah, this is the first time someone donates via Streamlabs. So thank you. All right. Good. Let's go back to, oh, okay. So this donation jar, this is our pun inside the donation jar. PayPal or Streamlabs take larger cut. No, they take less cut. They take like 5%, which is good. If you donate via the super chat button, it goes at least 30%. If you donate from an iOS device, it takes 50%. Thank you, Priyank. Okay, what I was doing. Yeah, so let's say we want the purple box to, I don't know, slide in when we refresh the page. So we want it to be like a Agent 007, or I don't know, James Bond movie to slide in something. I don't know what I'm talking about. So we do transition. So we transition it. We want to say what we want to transition. So what's the property we want to transition? Here you can transition width, height, color, background color, position. Priyank, thank you very much for the donation. You used the Streamlabs, didn't you? Okay. You guys make me stop all the time, you done it. So yeah, for the transition, you can pretty much transition almost all the CSS properties, but you shouldn't. You should only transition the transform property, the background color property, and the opacity. Because if you transition something like the width, it will work with the, I guess with the CPU, and it will be slower. Now, don't take my word for it. I don't know 100% exactly. I just know that in order to make the transition smoother, you should only work with transform and transform, opacity, and background color. Because basically, that's pretty much all you want to do. To transform some, I don't know, with opacity, you can hide it and show it. With transform, you can move it around, scale it. And with background color, you change the color. Priyank, so thank you again for the donation. Let me write your name. I guess you can find more details about why transforming the weight is not a good idea. I kind of forgot, but yeah. I usually just stick to transitioning the transfer property, the background color property, and the opacity. 28/04/2020. There you go. Oops, where is the... Okay. I want to buy a webcam. I kept saying that, but I don't know. I'm procrastinating. Okay, let's do something fun with transition. Okay, so there you go, and the donation jar again. Boom. Okay, so let's see. What if we want the box to come from here, from the left, and slide in nicely? So we want to transition the transform property. For how long? We want it, so how long should take the animation? 1 second, for example. You can say seconds and milliseconds. And you can also specify the timing function. I don't want to mess this up, so I forgot transition. I think it's the easing timing, yeah, the timing function. So how should the animation look? If it's linear, then it will just go well, in a linear fashion. But you can say is, you can say is in and out, you can say, I think there are a couple more, or you can use cubic Bezier to create your own. Yeah, so is linear, is in, out, or cubic Bezier lets you define your values in your own function. But this is a little more advanced. There are some tools online where you can see how it looks. Okay, let's do it in a linear fashion and save, and whoops, nothing happened. Why? Because we don't have the transform property. So we want to transform it to, let's see, translate 100 pixels. So 1 second, it should take 1 second to go from translate 0, which is by default, to translate 100. Let's see. Look at that. How nice. But I only want on the purple one. So let's move it here. So yeah, it starts from the default, which is 0, and goes to the, well, to the right. Okay. Now, if we want it to go from the left to appear inside the screen, then we want by default to be outside of the screen. So we can specify on the box. Let me think actually. Yeah, it will affect the white box too. So then, well, I guess I'll remove this. And we only have the purple box, and by default I want this to be transform translate x minus I don't know, 500 pixels. So it should be wait a second, so transform, okay, translate x minus still 0. Why is that? Oops, this should be x. If I don't see anything, yeah, so that's weird. Let me do more, 600. So now it's out of the view, and I want to bring it back. I guess it will start. I think I know what's happening. The box game is about to happen. Yeah, it will overwrite this. So we need some kind of delay of adding the class. That means we need a bit of JavaScript. I'm thinking. Because we want it initially to be outside of the screen, and then it will apply the class, and it will come back. Okay, let's write a bit of JavaScript just to apply the class after, I don't know, a second or so. Script.js, and we want to take the box, document, get element, like, well, no, query selector, and we want the box, and we want I guess we can just do it here, box.classList.add box1. So initially we shouldn't have box1, we only have the box, which is minus 500 pixels to the left. Although I'm pointing to the right, it's weird. All right, and now we apply the class of box1 after, well, when the script loads. And if now we have this code, oops, it should now yes, I guess we still need a delay. Set timeout. Okay. After 1 second. Yeah, alright, finally. Hello, Silvio. So, and we don't even want 100 pixels here, we just want to go to 0. All right. Yeah, so by default, it has the box class. It's translated off screen to the left. And then we apply the box1 class, and it will transition the transform property for 1 second in a linear fashion, and it will go to 0. Now if we change, so you can see how linear it is now. If we change this to ease, then you can see that it's like, I don't know, sliding in nicely. We can even do is in out. Yeah, it's not, well, I guess if we speed this up 300 milliseconds, yeah, it's pretty fast. So yeah, I'm not sure your question, Silvio. All right, so that's it. Let's see if we can make some bouncy animation with cubic Bezier. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, and make it maybe 1 second. So now we're controlling all the four points of the cubic Bezier. So we're kind of creating our own easing animation. And here we can go something like 2. So it will go, yeah, a little bouncy there. Everything, what's over 1, it will bounce. Yeah, well, just play around with the cubic Bezier and you'll see what I mean. Okay, you can also transition the color. So let's not transition the transform, but rather the color in a linear fashion. Background. Yeah, and by default should be white. And yeah, it just fades to purple. If you don't specify anything here, then it will be basically all. So all the properties. Although I wouldn't suggest you do this, because then it will just, you might see it animate stuff you don't want to. So just, I don't know, specify what you want to transition. Yeah, or you can do scale. So transform scale 1.3. Let's say transform here. And here we want, well, by default is 1. So look at that, it grows. And we can add back our cubic Bezier. And now it will, whoops, like that. Yeah, it will go back a bit and then go big. All right, so yeah, it's there are a lot of possibilities. We did in a stream, I guess, code pen. Let me see if I can find it. In a stream we did on a scrolling animation. Well, a scrolling animation, not on a scrolling animation. Let's see if it loads, hopefully. Hey Aish, I'm fine, how are you? Okay, this one. Yeah, you can see that when we scroll, the boxes get into the place. Yeah, a lot of fun things you can do. Basically, the idea is the same. We have just a bit of calculation here in JavaScript to find out if the box stop is less than the trigger. We have some kind of trigger, and then we add the show class. And in CSS, yeah, we translate it back, I guess. No, sorry. Yeah. So we translate x to 0. By default is 200% or minus 200% if it's an even, because you can see that once it goes from the left and to the right, left, right, left, right. That's the way it is. So the every even box goes to the left and the odd ones go to the right. All right, so this is something you can do. Okay, and I guess the last thing I'm going to show you is animation. Now the difference with transition, you only run it once, so you should use transition when you want to run the animation once, I guess. This is what I'm using for. But with animation, you can have like multiple times, or you can do infinite times. So let's do that. I wanted to create the heart and make a pulse effect. Let's do that. So on CodePen, I want to find my heart. Where are you, my heart? I guess they're racing. Pop drift. So yeah, this is the game we created in the stream. And I added a leaderboard and all that. It was pretty fun. But also in this stream we created the heart. This is where my heart is. And I could add it here. I won't go over how we created this. I just want the heart. And obviously it should be purple, not red. Why didn't do it in Harry though? Okay. And now I want a div with a class of heart. All right, look at that. We have a heart. That's my heart. I guess I could make it bigger, like 100 and 100. I broke my heart. That's funny. Okay, let's fix my heart. All right, there you go. We fixed my heart. Okay. Okay, let's make this heart pulse. So for that, I'm going to create an animation, and this animation takes in the keyframe's name. So we want it to call, we're going to call it pulse. And then the other properties are pretty much the same as the transition. So we want to have the pulse effect for 1 second, and we want it to be, let's make it ease in out. And another property which is like, I don't know, a plus over the transition is the iteration count. So how many times it should animation run. If we don't set that, it's only once. So let's make a pulse, keyframes pulse, like this. And now for the animation, not only that, well, you can create the animation and run it multiple times, but you can specify at every step what it should be. So for example, you can do from and to, so it will start from this I don't know, styling and get to this styling, or you can basically, this is 0% and this is 100%. Think of it like that also. Willy, I started working, well, I have a Gatsby video if you want to take a look. We're creating a blog in that. Okay, So how the pulse effect should work? Basically, how it's a heart pulsing. I don't know. It shrinks and goes big, and I don't know, shrinks and goes big again, right? So like boom, 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 something like that, right? So we need to think about when is the boom, boom. If that's such a good explanation. Okay, so basically the animation will be from 0 to 100%, and inside this we need to say, okay, at 0% you should be like this, at 10% you should be like, if you want. You can only specify one or two. I think these are steps. Or you can have 1,000, I don't know. So let's see, initially the heart should be this size, and maybe at 10% we want it to go to shrink. So we're going to do transform. Keep in mind that we also have the rotate. So we want to have the rotate and the scale. So we're going to rotate and then scale. By default, it should be 1. Let's put this on 0% too. Now on 10%, I want it to be the same rotate, so we don't change the rotation, but we want the scale to be like 0.9, right? Let's see how this looks. Look at that. So you can see it shrinked a bit at 10%. Now, probably at 40%, I'm just guessing here, but put the numbers there and add some properties, and then you can adjust it. So maybe at 40% we want the first boom, right? So let's make it 1.2, and so let's see, boom, boom. So it shrinks, boom, boom, shrinks, boom, boom. Okay, so then it goes up and it needs to go back down. So at, I don't know, 50%, we want to go back to 1. Okay. And let's say at 70%, we want to go a second boom. I guess. Pulse of. Boom, boom. Okay. And then at 100%, we want to go back to normal. But I guess because this is a nice trick with keyframes, if you have two keyframes which are the same, then you could do 0% and 100%. You want this. Now, fingers crossed, hopefully we'll have the boom boom. Otherwise, I don't know. Let's see. Boom boom. And you saw it only it only did it once. So because the iteration count is 1. But if we do infinite here, boom boom, boom boom, I don't know. It doesn't look right, but I guess we can change the boom boom. I don't know. It's pretty fast. I guess if we do linear, yeah, it's still I'm awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's not perfect yet. We just need to figure out at which percentage or which step we want to have the boom boom. You know. Let's look at an example, and maybe we can. So pulse, heart, I don't know, pulse heart effect. I don't know. Yeah, look at this. So this could be, wow, I really like this. So we can, this will be a bit hard to implement, but you can see if we convert this line to be basically the straight line will be 1, and then these steps will be the pulsing, we can create some really fancy stuff. Let's do this. Oh yeah, look at the boom boom. See? This is basically how the boom boom should work. So, yeah, let's do this. This is fun. Programming is fun, isn't it? So, okay, how can we figure out? So basically we start with 1, then we go 1.1, then we go back to 0.9, then go 1.5, go back, and something like this. and we do this 2 times in a loop. Let's see how this works. If this works out, I don't know, I'm going to sell this and become a millionaire. Okay, jokes aside, let's build this. So at 0% up to, I don't know, maybe this is 50%. I'm just going to eyeball it, I guess. I don't know. So at 0% and 100% here, we have scale 1. And then somewhere around half, 25, I don't know, 10%. So 10% we want to go up a bit. So 1.1. So 1. Then at 15% we want to go back down a bit. Well, usually, for those of you who are watching, usually animation is not this complicated. I just want to do the boom boom. I don't know. It's just fun to see how you can do fun things. So we want to go back down a bit, so 0.9 maybe. Now at 20% we want to go, so 20% we want to go high, something like, I don't know, 1.4. And then we go back at 25%. We go back to double this, so 0.8. I don't know. I don't know a lot of things, right? And then we want to go back a bit to, so 30%. Want to go transform back to 1.05. So it's a bit smaller than the first, so 0.5. And then again back down a bit. So 35%. Maybe these numbers should be 5 apart. I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't know that much. 0.95, and then 40% I want it to be 1 again. And keep in mind, if you have the same things, you can add it here. But because we want to see all the steps one by one, let's just do here 45%. Oops, sorry. 40%, we already had this. We want to go back to 1. All right. Let's only keep one boom for now. Let's see how this looks. Okay, save. Okay, that looks like a heart though. Yeah, I have, this is not a haircut, this is just my long hair, which is not gelled. I have to ask my wife to cut it, I guess. Okay, and now if you want to, yeah, so it's an interesting pulse effect, I don't know. If you use ease here, let's see. It's just crazy. Maybe let's spread this to 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%. Yeah, look at that. Well, that's kind of boom boom, although the second boom is not that, well, the first boom is not that boom. And yeah, in a linear fashion, how it will look. Yeah, so it's kind of a boom boom thing, although we only did the first part, but basically this repeats, so yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so look at that animation. Yeah, what else? 1 second. Looks like a quality boom boom. Yeah. Okay, let's leave it like this. We can also, I guess, we can rotate this. So let's make something stupid now, because we did good things, so let's just fool around now. So at the end here, we want to do rotate, so 180 to 20. No, 4, like this. So it now rotates once. Jens, I'm so happy to hear that. How old I am? Whoa, I'm too old. I wish I'd be 18 again. So let's say I'm 18. My videos gave you the motivation. Happy to hear that. Keep in mind we have a live stream every day, so if you want to come and, I don't know, get some motivation, I guess, if I'm not depressed, I'll send you some depression. Okay, yeah, this doesn't look right, so let's just keep the boom boom. It's too much a bit, so maybe this 1.4 should be 1.2 only. Yeah, I like it's a more subtle boom boom here. Yeah, okay. All right, so yeah. Yeah, this is the newer CSS tutorial. We covered box shadow, calc, responsive, and now we did this. Keep in mind that in animation you can also do color and opacity and whatnot, same as we did in transition. But yeah, it's more, so if you want to go more in depth, you want to specify each step there and be fancy about it. Happy to hear that, Jens. Join the Discord and, well, let's talk there. You can hang out with other developers and maybe it should be better for you. All right, I guess this is it. Mobile, well, I guess let's go over mobile and desktop first also. I already discussed it in, well, we already went through in the responsive design. Usually I do desktop first because that's what the designers send, but mobile first is what people are doing, because if you write mobile first and you are coming from mobile, then it won't load the desktop versions which are in the media queries. So it will speed up things a bit. Yeah, Jens, I also hope that you get better. Sometimes you just need a little push, you need to hang out with other people. I also was, last week, I was a bit tired, so I just took a couple days off and played some games. But now I'm good. Now I'm good and ready to code. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let's see who's with us. Say hi in the chat if you can hear me, I guess. And also thank you for all the donations. It really means a lot. By supporting the channel and my work, you help me continue to do this. And hopefully I can provide more and more value to you and to other developers around the world. And yeah, I want to show you how fun is coding. I mean, for me it is fun. And it's not only, for me it never was for, like, I don't know, just learn coding for a job. I learned coding because it was fun, and this is why I created this channel, just to do things I enjoy and have fun. And of course, you can use coding to create programs and apps which will help the community, which is even greater. But don't think of programming just that, oh, well, I have a job which pays the bills. It's not, I don't know, it's not worth it if you only do it because it pays. I don't know, maybe. Maybe for some it's worth it, but not for me. I do it because I liked it, and it also helps me to provide value to the community, so it's a win-win for everyone. All right, my wife made some pancakes, and she's yelling at me. Well, she's not yelling. she just said that I should go. The pancakes are ready. So I'm sending you some pancakes. Well, I guess. Hello, Carlos, Ishan, Mohamed, Praval, Emmanuel, hi, Mistral, Carlos, Jay, Dunia, and Alkondvich. Did you treat all this? Oh, no. I only went through these things in this video. We have another live stream where it goes over this. Alright, thanks all for joining. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the members of the channel who support monthly with a couple of dollars. It means a lot. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to do a members only live stream. So only if you will be a member, you will be able to chat. And yeah, we have something fun. I'm thinking about something with vanilla JavaScript. So for those of you who are members of the channel, be here tomorrow at the same hour, I guess. I still need to talk with you all and see what's the best time to catch you all. And yeah, we should do something fun with vanilla JavaScript, maybe local storage. Yeah, we'll see. All right. Have a good evening, night, morning, afternoon. Overall, have a good day and take care. Bye.